Welcome to the show, sir. This show is all about diversity, especially we target the youth and new Canadians to get themselves well equipped with the system so that they have a know how. Once again, welcome. And just for record, I would want you to introduce yourself, sir.
Great. Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My name is Sheldon Leiba. I'm the President and CEO of the Mississauga Board of Trade. The Mississauga Board of Trade is the leading business association in this Canada's sixth largest city, third largest in Ontario. We are an association of businesses, so we're comprised of business members that pay a membership to belong to our organization. Our mandate includes representing and serving the interests of business in our community, and we do that through policy advocacy, so lobbying the various levels of government on policy issues that impact business. We also deliver a wide variety of business events and programs to help support the growth and development, as well as the connections of business here in our community.
Absolutely. How long have you been involved with this organization?
I've been with the Mississauga Board of Trade for 4 years. Prior to coming to Mississauga, I was the CEO of the Brampton Board of Trade. So it's a profession that I've been in for 10 years, leading the business community in these two respective communities.
That's pretty interesting that you mentioned Brampton Board of Trade and then you are right now with Mississauga Board of Trade. Ethnic minorities which live in abundance in these two municipalities, for sure. What have Board of Trades done to bridge that gap? Because I have had my brush with the Brampton Board of Trade and I have had a brush with the CEO and I haven't gotten anywhere. But leaving that, what have these organizations done to bridge the gap in bringing communities together?
Well, obviously it's a very important topic that's not only important for the Board of Trade, but it's personally important to me. As you can see from the color of my skin, I am a visible minority in our community, and I think that demonstrates certainly the progressive nature of the Mississauga Board of Trade. Not that it's relevant, but I think, I'm very representative of the cultural demographics of our community, which for the most part are ethnic minorities. Our community has, I'm going to say, fortunately evolved to become extremely multicultural. And in fact, it is a great asset to our community because in an increasingly global economy where businesses need to build relationships, tap into markets all throughout the world, we're at a great advantage having businesses and business people and professionals in our community that represent the diversity of the world. But also, Canada's facing a labor shortage. Our working population is aging, and we know that businesses are going to rely on newcomers, on immigrants, to really sustain a talented and skilled workforce that we need to grow our economy and to grow businesses well into the future. And fortunately, Canada has had a very proactive immigration policy for many years, and in fact, Mississauga and the region of Peel is the beneficiary of attracting many newcomers that come to Canada, actually settle within our region and settle within Mississauga, and they provide a great potential for employers to hire skilled talent coming from all over the world. But also the immigrants that we attract are also very entrepreneurial, starting their own businesses. And through the Board of Trade, we embrace supporting new entrepreneurs, getting them integrated into the business community, but also helping to support newcomers that are looking for employment to effectively integrate within the workforce as well.
How do you, or by you, I obviously mean the organization, how do you support the new immigrants who are coming? According to my limited resources, many new immigrants are unaware of Mississauga Board of Trade to begin with because they don't even know such an organization exists. It's interesting you would say you help new immigrants. How?
Yeah. Well, newcomers often experience great challenges.
How do you reach out to them, to newcomers?
Well, our focus.
What programs you have?
We have a program called It's in Mississauga. It's called, the It's represents internationally trained and skilled in Mississauga. And it really is focused on bridging the gap, the employment gap between employers that are looking for skilled talent that they need in their businesses, as well as the abundance, the large pool of skilled and talented newcomers that we have in our community that are looking for jobs. We realize that there's a great amount of attention and resources that are paid towards supporting newcomers to become employment ready. But employment has two parts of the equation. It's preparing the newcomers, but it's also preparing the employers to make them more aware of the benefits of hiring newcomers, as well as the variety of programs and services and resources available to help support them in integrating newcomers into their workplaces. So our program actually is focused on the employer side of the equation, where the government has
focused on the employer side of the equation.
Because no matter how much you do to prepare newcomers for employment, if you don't do anything with preparing employers to hire newcomers, then you're not going to have the successful employment integration of newcomers. So our focus is on the employer side of the equation, which the levels of government and their funding aren't really focused on. So we support employers with cultural diversity awareness training. We support them with having them connect with the different programs and resources in our community that are available to help support newcomers for employment so that they can get connected with newcomers that are looking for employment that's related to their business or their industry. We also do a lot of programming around the benefits of hiring newcomers, sharing with them information and facts around the aging work population and the reliance that employers are going to have in our community on newcomers to grow their businesses. So there's an awareness component on the benefits of hiring newcomers. There's awareness about cultural diversity awareness because many employers aren't familiar with the diversity and the culture and the history and the practices with all the various newcomers that are coming to our community. And that's posing a barrier for many employers in hiring newcomers. So helping them to become a lot more familiar with the diversity of people that are coming in our community, that are going to be entering their workforces. And also helping them connect on the different mechanisms to attract and recruit newcomers. So even if they say, you know, yep, we're great, we're open-minded, we want to be progressive about hiring newcomers, where do we go? Where do we start? Well, we help them access the different programs and services and agencies that are working with newcomers so that they can, you know, expedite hiring newcomers into their workplaces.
Have you or your organization ever taken into account stats where by your educating the employers, they have ended up hiring new immigrants, and to what percentage?
We don't have specific statistics, but what we do is have anecdotal evidence. What we did do as part of our project, the It's in Mississauga project, and we do have a website that's related to this project, we did host a very large job fair a few months ago. We had probably about 400 to 500 attendees.
Your organization educates employers to hire new immigrants, but doesn't keep a track record on it, that whether they do or not. So basically, it's
not information. It's not. We're not resourced to collect that information.
Okay.
Nor are they probably in a position, you know, to share that information because they probably don't collect that type of statistics. Many employers don't.
Stats are very simple. That you pull out the data of a certain factory or a employment outlet, and you would find out who the immigrants are.
Yeah,
immigrants are.
As
simple as anything. Click of a mouse.
It may be simple, but employers, for the most part, don't collect information on the ethnicities of their employees.
Then what is the point in educating them?
Let me ask you, for your employer, share with me those statistics. How many visible minorities or ethnic minorities does your employer have? If that information is readily available, maybe you can share that information with me.
I'm self-employed, so I would.
Okay, but for the company that you work for, you must be aware of that information. If it's readily available.
Yes, I mean, in today's day and age, with the computer technology, it could be available. But my point, my only
I'm going to make a suggestion. It's not that relevant. The statistics is not that relevant. At the end of the day, businesses need the most talented people in their businesses,
no doubts.
Whether they're male or female, whether they're tall or short, whether they're black or white, Indian or Chinese.
Of course.
So collecting that type of data, I wouldn't even encourage employers to do that.
Okay.
I think, you know, in a multicultural community like Mississauga, where you're going to have a reliance on skilled labor, where you may be serving a market that's diverse, it is in the best interest of your organization to reflect the diversity of the community in which you exist and in which you serve. If you fail to do so, you're going to lose out on tapping into the many various skills that are available within your community. You're going to limit yourself. And also, you're going to have a hard time really connecting with your market, which is a diverse market, for the products or goods or services that you offer if your employment base, the employees in your workplace, do not reflect the diversity of the market and the community in which you exist. And that's the message that we give to employers here in our community.
Becoming a member of the Mississauga Board of Trade, any successful or new business, what benefits would they have in becoming a member?
Yeah. I would think first and foremost, especially for a newcomer entrepreneur, it's to get connected in the business community, to get connected with other businesses that you need to either connect with because they're compatible businesses within your industry, other businesses that could be potential customers to you, other businesses that could be potential suppliers and vendors to your business, but also to get connected with the various resources and programs and services in the community and the exchange and learning of best practices. Being in business can be a very onerous and challenging experience when you're on your own and you don't have a support network behind you. With a business joining the Mississauga Board of Trade, you now belong to a collective of businesses that have similar issues and challenges, also have the same needs. And through the Board of Trade, now you're going to get the supports and connections that you need to help your business grow and prosper.
So are there regular networking events amongst businesses organized by the Mississauga Board of Trade?
Yeah, the Board of Trade organizes about 50 events a year. For the most part, they're networking events. We have standard, regularly scheduled networking events that will have, typically around 150 business people attending. The intent is simply to provide a forum for businesses to connect with other businesses in our community. We also deliver various business development and training programs on topics that are very relevant to businesses. It might be on marketing, sales, social media, on networking, just teaching businesses how to network. Different cultures, networking may be perceived differently. Some people may not be familiar with how business is done in Canada, and networking is an important component to doing business. Teaching them on legislation that their business must comply with, on HR issues. So what we do is we look to see what the issues and challenges that businesses in our community are experiencing, and we put on programming to help support businesses address those issues and challenges.
If I am at liberty to ask, how many business members or businesses as members does Mississauga Board of Trade have?
Yeah, we currently have 1,000 business members. So those are our businesses that pay a membership fee to belong to our organization. And by being a member, they get access to various programs and services at a discounted rate. And obviously they get some additional promotions as a result of being a member of our organization. But our programs and services are available to all businesses in our community and even beyond our borders. And often with many of the events that we host, we do get a large percentage of non-members attending our events as well. At the end of the day, our mandate is really to help support businesses in our community or businesses that do business in our community to help stimulate economic growth and prosperity here in the city of Mississauga. So the work that we do supports all businesses. We're trying to create a very active and vibrant and thriving economic environment for our businesses to succeed within. We're also actively involved in the community. We're involved in a lot of community initiatives and programs and projects, great relationships with the not-for-profit sector, because we see the quality of life in Mississauga being highly correlated to economic prosperity. If Mississauga is a city that is attractive for people to live in and to raise their family in, it becomes a city that's attractive for businesses to locate in with as well.
Do you think there needs to be a bridge amongst the widening gap amongst different ethnic communities as a business entrepreneur or heading a business institute? Do you think that is, or everything is fine?
No, everything is not fine. I think we're a community that has evolved to have a significant amount of diversity. And I think it's, we need to celebrate diversity. There's so many different cultures and practices and customs that we have in our city, and it's incumbent upon all of us, I think, to to raise awareness of that diversity, to better appreciate it. But at the same time, we all have commonalities. We all want, we all want a good quality of life. We want health. We want prosperity. We want safety. We want a good education system for our kids. We want a good healthcare system for our families. So the things that we have in common, I think we need to spend more time working together on. Often what happens with a lot of ethnic communities is that they, and I think it's natural that when newcomers come to Canada, they gravitate towards their own community first, because that's where they get their initial support network from. It's within their own community. But as they adapt more or become more settled, they then need to branch out to better connect with the broader community. For businesses, it's very relevant that the various ethnic communities, come together to work more closely together. Our organization is very ethnically diverse. You come to our events, you see the diversity in our membership, you see the diversity on our committees at our events, because we see the value of having businesses in our community work together, not from any specific ethnic background, but all of the business community coming together. And as the Mississauga Board of Trade, for us to be the recognized business association in Mississauga and to be the voice of business in Mississauga, we need to be representative of the diversity of businesses and business people here in our city.
Very rightly said. So before summing up for the day, I would like you to give some message out to the viewers. A, what are the benefits they should join, and whatever message you want to add on to it.
Great. Well, thank you for the time this morning. It was a pleasure to be able to sit down and to be able to talk a little bit more about the Mississauga Board of Trade and what we do. Being the local business association here in Mississauga, our organization provides a great opportunity for businesses and business people to get connected within our community, to get connected to other businesses, to get connected to resources, to get connected just to the leadership within our community. We are a very open and proactive organization. We embrace diversity here in our organization. It's very evident at our various events that we're a very diverse organization. And we know that for Mississauga to continue to be a very active, vibrant economic center in Canada, that we really need to reflect the increasing diversity of our community. And we're taking measures through our It's in Mississauga program. We're also looking forward to launching a new program that will support newcomer entrepreneurs to better integrate into the business community, because we know that newcomers that are coming, they come with great ambition and confidence and want to establish their own businesses, but they have difficulty navigating the system to really understand what's needed to start a business and to grow their business. And we're looking forward to developing a program that will help support newcomers in establishing business, as well as newcomers that are looking for jobs. So the Mississauga Board of Trade is really pleased to continue to play a leadership role in this community for businesses, but also for residents who need jobs, because at the end of the day, I think the most important social program for residents is ensuring that there's good quality jobs that are in their families. Absolutely. To provide for their kids and their families, to have the quality of life that we all deserve to have.
Thank you very much. Great. Once again for letting us be in your office.
Thank you very much.
You do have a nice day.
Same to you.
Thank you.